Puck is the first companion that Guts meet during his days as a Black Swordsman. Puck was an elf and descendant of the ancient spirits of wind. He was rescued from the bandits in the very first chapter. From there on, he followed Guts and has been a comic relief on the series. Here are the list for the elf of the Pisky race, Puck. Puck's appearance is similar to a naked human, though his ears are elongated like the ears of an elf we see, and also an insect-like wing on his back. Though he does look like a human, he does not have any genitals. He is playful and lighthearted. He also has a great patience, although it was not infinite. Even anime characters have some breaking points too. He usually never leaves Guts' side, and no matter how harsh Guts can be, he tries to understand him. But there are occasions where they parted ways due to Puck's annoyance, and he could not tolerate Guts being rude and cruel. On Berserk anime that went out around 1997 and 1998, he was left out. It could probably be because of the Black Swordsman arc is shortened. He would only appear at the very beginning if included, though on the later release he was included on all of the adaptations. Mostly he was drawn on his chestnut form. This was his default form when being funny. We only see him on the elf form when he is being serious or there was serious scene occurring, but oftentimes he's on his chestnut form. Even Ivalera is not an exception. Puck has a huge appetite, I mean huge. He can eat many times his own weight in food. This was demonstrated in Deadman Mansion where he consumed all the dinner sweets that was meant for a huge party. He ate it all in one sitting. Puck took a liking of Guts' Behelit. He prevented Guts from disposing the said Behelit multiple times. He wanted to use it as a bait to catch fish. He was actually quite possessive of it and even named it Betchy. He also claims that the Behelit liked cheese. That got me thinking, could be Puck was the next Behelit? Since Flora explained that the Behelit will always return or find a way to return to the person they belong to. Guts throws it multiple times but he stopped Guts on those occasions. One of the things that can make him called the God Hand could be arriving at the Elf Helm only to find it raised. He actually have 4 siblings, 4 brothers to be exact. Well, Miura sure picks an awesome and easy name to remember. His brothers has different numbers of points in their hairstyle to help them tell apart. He frequently performs funny impressions of characters from other stories such as Yoda, Doraemon, Bruce Lee, Gundam, and even Saint Seiya. His ultimate goal is to be the king of deadbeat that is free to eat all of the snacks and after eating loafs around all day. According to the nun, the sovereign monarch of the elves, Puck is also bad at taking responsibility, and making him the ruler of Elfhelm is to condemn the place into becoming a refuse pile. Ivalera considers him as a lesser being and she was wiser compared to Puck, even though they often cooperate, such as when they scouted the Deadman Mansion. In the birth ceremony chapter, when Isidro and Puck track Casca and Nina's whereabouts, he told Puck that he will buy some time and fly to Guts with the news and fly as fast as he can. Puck launches himself at great speed that causes his cheeks and even his eyelids to flop. He acts as a conscience of Guts, although at first he was barking at the wrong tree since Guts does not even care about the morality of his actions. He has his reasons and that reason alone is enough. But after going through a lot, Guts began to listen to him more. Even Rickard stated that Puck was the only thing keeping Guts human during his demon hunts. He can sense the inner emotions of the others. He was often overwhelmed by Guts' hostile emotions. When Guts battled the Snake Baron, carnage was left. Puck was shocked and whispers, "Berserk." Guts is known as a Black Swordsman. Puck and Isidro poke fun at him since a part of his hair turned white, and because of that he does not look like the Black Swordsman anymore. Instead, Isidro calls him the slightly white swordsman, and Puck calls him the mostly black swordsman. Although he was a comic relief, he was hated by some readers. Most of the readers like him on his early appearance since he acted as Guts' conscience. With the party growing, he became less important as the series goes. The first time when Guts called him by his name is when he rescued Guts from the forest spirits. This is during the conviction arc. He was also the first member of Guts' party. Puck is named after a typical woodland fairy from the Celtic myth who inspired the tricksters of the same time in Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream. Puck insists that Isidro and Guts should learn his technique. It was called the Elf Dimension Style. This technique simply involves Puck swinging a bardock or dandelion in his hand like a sword. Puck actually managed to defeat both demons using this technique. As an elf, he can produce elf dust, which has healing properties that greatly accelerates human healing process, and it also soothes pain almost immediately. He was also able to emanate light and repurpose it to an attack called Puck Spark, which briefly blinds his opponents, and also it can kill small demons. Peace out.